Okay, so now if you notice, if you take notes from this networking concept so far, you will notice that this switch here, all what it does is to forward data to all the endpoints, okay, which is basically the primary purpose of the switch. Okay, so what it does is what is called layer 2 function, just forwarding of data. It does nothing than to just forward data to their destination, to their respective destination. Why what is taking place here is what is called routing. Is what is called routing. Okay, is what is called routing. So this is where different network are being communication between different networks are being established so that different network can communicate. Okay, so you should get that concept by now, and that process of establishing communication between different networks is what is called routing. Okay, so what is taking place here is just routing, and what is taking place here is forwarding of data. So now let's go and carry out the second method of establishing connectivity between different VLANs. So what we need to do, which is our second method, is to replace this switch here, this particular switch. We have to replace it with a layer 3 switch. Okay, a layer 3 switch. So now a layer 3 switch can perform both layer 2 function and layer 3 function. Okay, it can perform both forwarding function and routing function. Okay, what that small switch is performing and what that router is performing, a layer 3 switch can perform both. Okay, that is why we said it operates in both layer 2 and layer 3. So let's bring out this layer 3 switch. Okay, it will perform both forwarding and routing. Okay, so now let me rename this and just call it switch SOB. Okay, so now the configuration here is very simple. It's very simple. What we will do is to repeat our configuration that we did in the earlier configuration by assigning host on VLAN 10 by tying port 1 to 4 to VLAN 10, tying port 7 to 10 to VLAN 20, and tying port 11 to 14 to VLAN 50. Okay, we are just repeating that. That's what we want to do here. So now in this scenario, we will just be using just 3 VLANs. Okay, just VLAN 10, VLAN 40, and 50, just the same way we did in the previous lab. Okay, so now, so let's go into this switch, or before that, let's do our connection. By the way, the port of this switch is it also has 24 ports, which are fast Ethernet. So let's go and do that. Let's bring our cable. Let's bring our cable. Okay. So the cable we need is a straight through cable. Straight through cable. Okay, I will still teach you cable in the coming class. So we are plugging it to 1 to 4. That's VLAN 10, right? So let me quickly do this at the background and come back. So I just repeated what I have. I just implement what I have on this diagram, okay, which is a time putting VLAN 10 on anything from 1 to 4 and VLAN 40 on 20 to 22 to 24, and putting anything from 11 to 14 on VLAN 50. Okay, that's what I just did here. Okay, so let's go and as this switch as it is now, it will be acting as a layer 2 switch. Okay, it will be acting as a layer 2 switch. As a network engineer, you need to do one or two things on this switch before you can turn on the layer 3 capability of the switch. Okay, before you can turn the routing capability, before the switch can act as a router, you need to do one or two things for it to act as a router. Okay, so let's go and do our basic VLAN configuration, which you already understood. So let's configure our VLANs. VLAN 10. We have VLAN 20. No, not 20. We have VLAN 40. And we have a VLAN 50. Okay, so let's go and assign ports to this VLAN. So let's say interface range F fast ethernet 0, 1 to 4, right? That's switch port mode access. Right? So now for 40 is let's go and check. 40 is 22 to 24, right? So let's repeat our interface range. This time around is 22 to 24. So say switch port mode access, and then switch ports access VLAN 40. Okay, I did not do that for switch ports access VLAN 40. Okay, I think I didn't do it for port 1 to 4. So let me go and do it. This is port 1 to 4. That is for VLAN 10, right? VLAN 10. Okay. So let's do for 50. 50 is ports, I think 12 to port 11 to 14. 11 to 14. So let's do that. Surface range 12 to, see 12 or 11? Sorry, let me check. Is okay, 11 to 14. 11 to 14, sorry. (11 to 14). So switch ports mode access, then switch ports. We are turning to VLAN now. VLAN 50. Okay, so these are basic configuration that we have done earlier. So now this switch is still acting as what is called layer 2 switch. So now let's go and do some configuration for that. So now these guys currently they have no key to the gateway. Okay, so we need to go and configure virtual interface also on the switch. on the switch, the virtual interface that they will be communicating when they are going, the virtual interface that they will be communicating with as their gateway for the switch to route them to another network. So now, to configure virtual interface, just say interface VLAN 10. Okay, give it IP address. Very simple, 192.168.10.1. Okay, let's put subnet mask 0. So let's do for interface 40. Let's give it IP address. That's a 40.1. Let's do for VLAN 50, interface VLAN 50. Let's give it 50.1, right? Okay, so we can check our configuration by saying show IP interface brief. Okay. Okay. When you enter a command and you cannot see everything, just press your space bar. Okay, can you see what we just configured? We now have virtual interface for each of our VLAN that we are connecting. So now let's go and see if we can ping. Let's go and see if we can ping. This guy has his default gateway configured. It has IP address 40.5. So let's go and ping 40.5 or 50.7. Let's ping 40.5. Is not going. Is not going. Why? Why is it not going? Can you guess? Can you guess? Let me give you 1 minute to guess. It's not going and it will not go. The reason why it is not going, even if you ping your 50.7 there's 50.7 around this place. Yeah, 50.7. Even if you ping it will not go, despite that they are connected to the same layer 3 switch. The reason why it is not going is because this switch is still acting as a layer 2 switch. You have not enabled the routing capability. You have not turned it to a router. So you cannot route packets from one network to another network yet because it is still like a layer 2 switch. It's still seeing itself like a layer 2 switch. So now for you to turn it to a layer 3 switch, for you to make it to act like a router, you need a command called IP routing. Just enter this command, IP routing. That's all. Press enter. This command alone has enabled the layer 3 capability of our switch. The routing capability of our switch. So let's go and see now if we can ping. Okay, let me save this. Let's go and see if we can ping. Now it should go. If it didn't go, we are going to troubleshoot together. We are going to troubleshoot together if it did not go. Okay, can you see? So it's going now, it's working. Let's try our 40.5. It should go too. The reason why it's forced timeout is because the switches is still learning the path to the destination. So once it has learned the path, the following pinging will easily go. So think of it this way: if you are first traveling to a particular destination, you don't really understand the road. You are still learning the road. But if you have traveled through that road multiple times, you'll be able to just go you'll be able to go at any speed that you want. So first time that you think and you see timeout, it means it is still learning that part. Okay, it is still learning the path to that destination. So that is another method of carrying out inter-VLAN routing. Okay, establishing communication between different VLAN. Okay, so I taught you about using a router, and I just taught you about using a layer 3 switch. So go and practice. You can do your own for VLAN 20, VLAN 30. You can repeat this. Just practice and practice to understand this better. See you in the next class.